Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here, and we are on the event Battle of Berlin. However, the way the matchmaking is right now, it's kind of interesting, but historical battles are historical. And we have a friend here, just having fun, instead of chasing enemy planes. But yeah, so basically it's all high-tiered BF-109s and Focke-Wulf 190s. And I think the highest that the Russians have available are the Lavochkin 5 and Lavochkin 7s. Interesting. Not really sure how this is going to work out. I opted to go for the IL-2M. And I want to see how quickly I get evaporated. Basically, by the enemy. And I think a lot of people could be critical of these, but this is what a true historical battle will be like. I opted for the Russians simply because, you know, we're the underdogs and the queue time is a lot less. When I joined, there was 4 people in queue for the Russians and 60 in queue to fly the Germans. So, like, I'm not, that's just interesting. And it makes sense because most people are like, I want to win. This guy already just bailed out of his plane. CSM guy bailed out. Not really sure why. Maybe he just couldn't take the pressure, and it looks like having some tea and doing things to Soviets is all being German is about. Alright. Lacking originality and lacking the fight to be the underdog. What better way to be an underdog than to fly something that's so slow and big enough wing surfaces for, like, see, a BF-109 has this view when he's diving on me. It's going to be interesting. But you know what? There's 20% boost to Lions, and there's enough pillboxes to shake a stick at. And I got 4 bombs and 8 rockets, so I should be able to, you know, at least farm some Lions. I started a little late, and you can tell the IL-2s, the other Sturmovic's here, are already well ahead of me. Here's our tank screen going to fight those pillboxes. No one has scouted anything, or at least called it out. And in historical battles, that's something you want to do for the rest of the team. Historical battles, if there's a coordinated team, it will really, really do rather well. And when tanks come out, communication and teamwork will be critical, because if you look at history, the Germans with relatively inferior low quality early war tanks were able to defeat the French based off a mix of tactics and communication, whereas the French had just had superior tanks. So it's going to be interesting to see the differences. Like, you know, in here right now, a pilot, a good pilot, a really good pilot, is able to have a disproportionate influence on the game. Whereas with tanks, I think it's more going to be around squad, like squads will have a bigger effect than the individual pilots. Squads do well in War Thunder planes right now, but you'll have a bigger influence on tanks when playing in a squad. So I'm kind of getting distracted. I'm looking up, wondering where my death will come from. So we got normal pillboxes, and I think I'm packing 50 kilos. So I might not be exactly ready for... We'll give it a try. We'll do a run on a light pillbox. Light artillery everywhere. There's a light pillbox. Alright, we're going to go after this one. Check our surroundings real quick, and then proceed to dive. Now, we don't have our bombing reticle, so that should be interesting. Look at those trenches. Really cool. Missed. Terrible miss. So now we're going to try rockets. Alright, rockets work. I'll be able to milk a few with my rockets here. It'd be cool if you could individually fire. I wonder if that would work. We're just gonna run down this line. Looks like a TA-152 over there. Ooh, almost missed there. That was almost sloppy. The Germans look like they're closing in. It's not looking good. And we are isolated. Oh man, we're gonna pull back towards the IL-2s. But it might be too late. We might be going down. Oh! I mean, what am I supposed to do? Dropping bombs. Making sure we're gonna... Alright, but let's check. Let's see if this is worth it right now. The Battle of Berlin event. Oh my. Let's check the score. 2 kills, 2 kills, 1 kill, 1 kill. No kills. We had 3 bombers, granted. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take a look at the aerial battle right now. Let's see how the LA-7s are doing. Chasing a Ta-152 who's just diving. There's an IL-2 getting chased. 1 LA-7 still alive. Burning up though, you can see. Let's take a look at him. Yep, he's done. IL-2M's done. So it's just this guy now, and he just got taught. So this is what some historical battles look like. And that is basically... Looks like we have a survivor though. He's going to be put in a POW camp. So... Interesting. Did the Germans lose a plane? They lost 1 plane in that battle. We lost everything. Right now, the Battle of Berlin is a German stomping ground. Which is interesting. But we're going to take a look at our lines and see if it was worth it to farm the pillboxes. Dat bounce. Look at that. Oh man, that was cool. $9,000 lions, 17,000 XP. Not entirely sure if it was truly worth it at this point. And to give you an idea, let's take a look. We're gonna queue up. So here's the lineup. You have G10 and above, and then you have Yak 3, Yak 9T, Yak 9K, LA5FN, LA7. So we'll look. We'll count them up real quick. The tier difference. So you have tier 12 and tier 13. Pretty good. So that's the thing. Actually, the Russians can fly anything they want, really. But there's only maybe 3 viable options. Now let's queue back up, or not queue back up necessarily, but take a look. So we have the G10, K4, and Ta-152. So we'll take a look at the Germans. So Ta-152, tier 16. So they definitely have superior tiers, and they also have more options at the higher tiers. 14s and 16s. And then you have the F8 12s. So it kind of limits the Germans, but I think at this point a lot of German pilots... Here we go. We'll switch back over to Russian, and we'll queue up. Alright, and we are going to take part in this battle. So look at this queue. 36 Russian, or 36 Germans, 2 Russians. So we're going to cancel out. And queue if we try again in a minute. But a lot of people say give us true historical battles. This is, you know, closer to what a true historical battle would look like. There are certain events in World War II, such as the Marianas Turkey Shoot, where you may not want to be on one of the historical battle sides. But you know what? I'm going to give it a go in my LA7B20 and see how that works out. But right now, it's a shame. I think I like how they're kind of limited in time frame. Let's take part again. Let's see what happens. Let's check the queue one more time. 39 and 6. So it seems like these events don't have as much, you know, still a lot more players playing historical. But I think if they offered more options for events, but maybe they can't really, because you saw that queue, there wasn't a whole lot in it. This one's going to have less participants for obvious reasons. A lot of people get caught up in the whole grind, the economy grind of the game. And whereas most games, like if you bought everything already and you had everything, like it wouldn't be so bad to play on a team that's the underdog. But when you're thinking, hey, I want to grind to get that, you know, I was going to say ME262, but if you're in that grind to get the new MiG-15 or get the MiG-15 BIS, get those top tier stuff, you know, you're not really going to do it. And the Germans right here are in it because they're just in it for the kills. Because, you know, generally pilots of these tiers probably have a lot opened up as the Germans. But not too many Russians. We're going to test one more time. Check the numbers. 31 to 4. So there's almost 8 for every one in the Russian. There's 8 Germans lining up. But that is this event. Yesterday's was Guadalcanal. I had a lot of fun with that. I wish it was still around. I only got to play it like 4 or 5 times. But that's what's kind of fun about these is they're open for a limited amount of time. And you also have the full real battle ones. And look at this. Here we go. We've got jets versus jets. Pretty sweet. And then we had the Battle of Wake Island as arcade. So let's jump in that. Let's see how that goes. Yeah. We're going to take part in this. And it looks like as the Americans, you have your B-17E, which is top dog. And then you have your Wildcat. And as the Japanese, you have your Zero. So the Zero is the top fighter, but the B-17E is far and away the best bomber. But when you look at the Battle of Wake Island, there were B-17s, and then there was obviously some Kitty Hawks on Wake. See, Wake was interesting. Wake was attacked right when Pearl Harbor was attacked at the beginning of World War II in the Pacific for the Americans. The Japanese were basically running around the Pacific on the same day as Pearl Harbor, punching all the Allies for the next couple days in the face over and over, just like knockdown blows. Hey, British, punch to the face. Hey, Americans, punch to the face. Hey, Dutch, punch to the face. Like, they were rolling in the Pacific. They just did a lot of stuff to take the Dutch oil fields in the Dutch East Indies. They invaded the Philippines, Wake, Pearl Harbor, all kinds of stuff going on. Singapore, Malaysia, they were running amok in the Pacific. And a lot of people with events, like, you know, you're looking for balance almost. They're like, oh, well, this isn't, you know, the Japanese have the better fighter, and the Americans, like, the Japanese don't have anything to compete with that bomber. Granted, you're on both teams, so it kind of, you can matchmake that way in arcade, but in historical and full real. But these events are basically what you can think of as true historical battle missions. You know? There's not going to be parity. There's no parity in World War II. It wasn't like, oh, the Germans have Tiger tanks in Africa now. You know what? We need something better than the Matilda and these M3 Grants that are getting sent over, and then the Shermans that were sent over. We need, you know, the big British beasts. You know, hold on, pause the battle. Let's have equal tanks here. Let's have equal tiered tanks here. That's not how it was. So these are kind of fun given the disparity between the two sides, and that's more prevalent in arcade and full real, or excuse me, in historical and full real than in arcade, since both nations can play on both sides. But I think arcade will probably be the better grinder for Silver Lions, given that there's more a sense of parity, and that in most cases I think the games will go quicker. So I think in terms of farming Silver Lions, it may be better to fly arcades. So we're going to fly out here in our A6M20. And man, is this just a gorgeous plane. So we got 1 second. We're going to fly up. Let's take... Wow! Look how many people are rocking their B-17s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 B-17s right now. We have the majority of them. So I'm thinking, given that this map... We're going to use this as a test. Given that this map is all about taking wake here, it's going to be interesting. I think with our B-17s, given that most of the fighters are lower tiered, these B-17s will be able to take a lot of damage, and their gunners, assuming they're upgraded or commanded proficiently, will be able to down the majority of the enemy fighters. So I'm leaning to the assumption that our team has the advantage right now. But if it looks like we have a lot of bombers, we also have we have 2 cats and a B5N2. We don't, yeah, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now we only have a few bombers. I mean, excuse me, a few fighters. The enemy team has more fighters, so I'm going to have to do my work in order to keep the bombers to win this game right here. The cargo ships are dropping off the landing craft right now, it looks like. And we have altitude, and we're going to be dropping on this mix of aircraft right up there. Let's take a look. Can't tell if he's big or small. Oh yeah, there's 2 B-17s, it looks like. So there is a Wildcat, H6K, P40. Everything's starting to pop out. SBD-3's flying high. Those things would be dangerous. I wonder if I should pick off those, or actually I want this Wildcat. And we got some shots off. He's going to be maneuvering. Let's take a look. He is probably still in pursuit, yeah. Now, in historical, I would not be comfortable with this at all. Basically flying at, like, diving at this speed. But given that I have someone on my tail and it is arcade, I'm aware that I can get away with it. I'm gonna have to make a maneuver at some point. 17 Gs, do you see that? Ah, he pulled off. So we can pick a new target. We'll go after this A6M2N. Situation awareness dictates that in order to stay alive, we must look around and see who else has the potential to dive on us. Currently, right now, it's only an H6K, so we are feeling rather confident in that. We're going to be moving for this A6M2. We're going to zoom in, kind of get an idea of where he's heading. He is heading away from us. Given that he is the float plane version of us, we should be able to catch up on him. But you know what? I think it is time to pick a new target. Because we have a little bit of a dogfight here. Alright, something just got shot down. Look at that. Right in front of us. His situational awareness is not strong. But he is maneuverable, and we are really, really close. So we gotta cut inside that loop. Or force him to crash. Either way. OS2U. What a beast. This is what a real man looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Someone that will fly an OS2U into combat. Down to machine guns. Alright, situational awareness. Take a quick look. He is burning up. Sorry, man. I have a lot of respect for you. I need you to know that. So we're going to do a quick reload. Our cannons were at about 13 seconds, and that's about the same time it takes for me to reload my machine guns. There's not a whole lot of rounds, so there's no pressing matters, and therefore I will continue to... Let's see. It looks like our team is losing, so I'm going to have to redirect to poach landing craft at this phase. There's no one hunting those bombers. So, despite what I thought, I'm going to have to, in order to win the game, I'm going to have to redirect my targets. So, look at these maneuvering. Wow. Did I really? I think that just happened. I missed some landing craft. That one just evaporated. We're getting shot at. I think it's pretty sure it's from... That was rather good timing here. So we will redirect to this fighter. We're probably going to be going down rather soon. Yeah, we're getting shredded by stealth ammo. I think stealth ammo is just so silly. But it's a viable tactic, for sure. So we gotta have to jink around. Getting shredded. Oh, we missed it! We tried to go all Japanese on it and go kamikaze on that last landing craft, but we were taken down. So now... Ooh, we just lost. Yeah. So we're gonna take a look at what our haul was. Is the game not over? Yeah, it is. We lost one plane. So, despite my theory at the beginning that we had the most B-17s, granted, we may have won and they just didn't do enough damage. I'm not entirely sure. Let's take a look at the haul. 6,000 lions, 13,000 XP. And it looked like my team, we just didn't have it together. The other team was superior, and this is just how it goes sometimes. But overall, I think the Lonely Island event, or rather, the Wake Island event, was pretty fun. A6M2 is definitely the top fighter. If you have a B-17, fly that out and just do well. I don't really know if our B-17s did enough or if they were shot down. I'd imagine, given that they are B-17s, what probably happened was people saw those big beasts flying, realized how good they were, and they're like, hey, this is arcade mode. Let's ram them out of the sky. I will have to try Wake as a B-17 pilot and see what happens there. But Battle of Berlin, it's definitely, there's a greater disparity. The Germans have the superior fighter aircraft, but the Russians have the option for bombers. But who's going to want to fly bombers with all these multi-cannoned foes? Like, these things can shred you up. We saw my IL-2M last a whole 10 seconds. I mean, it was fun. And if you can get away with the whole, like, get away from, I want a challenge, as opposed to, I just need to go grind lions. This is what you want. You're going to want to play Russians if you want a true challenge. Fly your LA-7 B-20 and fight some of the top German fighters. That'd be where you'd want to do it. Fly the LA-7s, the LA-5 FN. Yeah, you got, it seems like this guy is a bomber eater. Just slays them, and look at all these bombers he can go after if anyone opts for that. But why would you when you could have just, like, you know, 4 to 6 cannons on some of these bad boys? Anyway, I'm Baron, and those were some of the events for the day. Happy Saturday to you all, and as always, thank you for watching. Alright, gentlemen, good luck. We've made it to our destination.
Don't want to die the last second here.
Yeah, we don't want to get shot down by these, you know, Russian mariners here. Merchant Marine at that.
Bombs away.
Boom!
Nice.
Target 1 is down.
Taking the next left one.
Star. Boom!
Nice, nice.
Very nice. Alright. So, Star, I'm going to get this one on the right here.
Alright, I'm moving on to the next pair.
Roger that.